How's it going, ladies and gentlemen? My name is RuffleRowlitz and welcome back to a brand new video. Today, ladies and gentlemen, we're taking a look at something within Pokemon Sword and Shield that I think you guys will enjoy. Now, I want to take a look at what the 10 rarest Pokemon to catch in Pokemon Sword and Pokemon Shield are. Now, we're taking a look at Pokemon that have a low % chance of being encountered and found. Of course, once you've completed the full game, majority of all the Pokemons, full evolutions and that sort of stuff, are available in the wild area, specifically in the overworld, as fully evolved versions, but some of these are really hard to get as you're playing through the game. So I thought we'd take a look at these, see what their percentages are, and what your chance of actually encountering one really is. So ladies and gentlemen, get in your seats and get ready. Here are the 10 rarest Pokemon to catch in Pokemon Sword and Pokemon Shield. Let's get started. Coming in at number 10 is going to be the lovely Eevee, which is found on Route 4 in Pokemon Sword and Shield, and is overall one of the rarest Pokemon that you will encounter in Sword and Shield. Yes, kinda strange when you think about it, but yeah, Eevee is one of those. The Pokemon only has a give or take chance of 1 to 5% of showing up on Route 4, the 1% spawn chance being for Shield, and the 5% spawn chance is for Sword, and also counterparting this Pokemon is Pikachu in the opposite game, so basically their percentages will reverse. Honestly, this is kind of reasonable, since Eevee tends to be an overall pretty great Pokemon to have, with loads of differing evolutions, which basically makes it a perfect optional Pokemon for a lot of different situations. So in general, I can see why Eevee would be so rare. It's a hyper popular Pokemon, and on top of that, it also is very viable with all those evolutions, which also now have been streamlined, where you don't have to go through these processes to evolve some of them, but rather just give them an evolutionary stone. So overall, a Pokemon that makes sense to be this rare. Let's go to the next one. And coming in at number 9 is going to be Aplin. This cute new apple Pokemon is a must-have for a lot of players since it sports the Grass and Dragon typing. One very unique typing, and also one that seems to benefit this tiny little creature, hence its rarity being pretty high, and of course because of the fact that it also has a split evolution, it makes it even more viable as a thing for you to actually catch. So this is definitely a Pokemon that a lot of people are out to get. The thing about Aplin is that it can be found in several different spots, however, the first time you encounter it is actually on Route 5. Its rarity is about 10%, which makes it quite a rare Pokemon to catch. Now, coming in at number 8 is going to be Trapinch. This classic Gen 3 Pokemon, ground type, seems to stick around in Pokemon Sword and Shield and gets a very high rarity. Now, Trapinch only has an encounter chance of 1% in Pokemon Sword. Meanwhile, in Shield, it has a 5% chance, and it's only found in Hammerlock Hills. Now, in Pokemon Shield, you basically get access to a higher chance of getting Trapinch, whereas in Pokemon Sword, Axew basically gets these like percentages instead because of the essential existing, kind of exclusivity type thing there. I mean, they're not really exclusive, but still, the point is that it's slightly better for Axew in the other game in terms of percentage, whereas Trapinch gets better percentage in Pokemon Shield. So yeah, that is number 8. Let's go to the next one. Now, coming in at number 7 is going to be Stonjourner. Now, Stonjourner is this strange new rock-type Pokemon that is only available in Pokemon Sword and has a 2% chance of showing up in grass, but can also be found in the Lake of Outrage, which is also available after the 6th gym. A truly strange Pokemon overall, and one of the rarest Pokemon that you will encounter in Pokemon Sword. And honestly, a very unique new Pokemon. So if you're looking for Stonjourner, you will find it, but it will be very hard. Now, coming in at number 6 is everybody's favorite new penguin, which is the counterpart to Stonjourner, which is Skew. Skew is only available in Pokemon Shield within the Lake of Outrage with a 2% chance of actually being encountered. And considering this Pokemon's very useful competitive strength, it is a must-have for anyone that is into Pokemon competitive play. A truly strange little penguin that is also quite rare, so if you're looking for a competitively viable Pokemon, but also one that is quite interesting to have and honestly pretty unique to have, then go and get yourself an Skew with that 2% chance of being encountered. Next up at number 5 is a strange and new, quite odd little Pokemon, which is Urchin. Now, Urchin is a brand new Pokemon that does not have any pre-evolution or evolution, that is based on the real-life sea urchin and the real-life item, which is the pincushion. Now, this Pokemon comes in at a 5% chance of being encountered, which is honestly quite astounding, as it's a Pokemon that I don't really see personally a lot of usability in. Now, a lot of other people probably see how it can be used viably within competitive play, but overall, I haven't really seen any major use for it, as it doesn't really have an evolution or pre-evolution or anything to me that just goes beyond its already existing kind of form. So, generally speaking, a very rare Pokemon that I don't know really the usability for. Now, coming in at number 4 is going to be Synesthesia. Now, the forgery version of Synesthesia has a 10% chance of encounter, which is also pretty hard to get, but then you have the authentic version, which is even harder at a whopping 1% chance of being found within the Glimwood Tangle, which, by the way, for those who do not remember, is the forest that the 24-hour livestream leading up to Pokemon Sword and Shield's release was based on. So yeah, kind of crazy that that place would contain a very, very rare form of Synesthesia, a Pokemon that we did not know about until the release of these games, which was the pre-evolution to Polteageist. So yeah, honestly pretty crazy, and do remember this is the forgery version that is easier at 10%, and the authentic version is at the whopping 1% chance of being actually found. So yeah, pretty crazy, pretty rare. Let's go to the next one. Now, coming in at number 3 is going to be Cofant. This new elephant-based creature comes in with a strange percentage. It has a chance between 1 to 10% to actually show up in the overworld, in the bridge fields. Now, its difficult in catching mainly comes from it only showing up during certain weather, which causes trouble if the weather isn't in your favor. Overall, a Pokemon that I feel like personally I don't really, care for much, because once you've completed the game, you can find its full evolution kind of roaming in the wild in the overworld in the same exact spot as I think you leave Hammerlock. So you can pretty much find it in a singular spot at all times, fully evolved. But if you're playing through the game and trying to get it, you're not gonna get it that easily. You're gonna have to look around for a while to actually catch the pre-evolution and get it into your team. Overall, a very rare Pokemon. Let's get to the next one. Next up is everybody's favorite, number 2, Duraludon. On Lake of Outrage, you can find this new Pokemon roaming, or on the cold and snowy Route 10, you will also have a chance of finding it at 1% chance of it spawning in the overworld, with your chance increasing in Lake of Outrage with about 1% if there is a snowstorm at the time of you being there. However, also, you can find this Pokemon roaming the overworld, early on in the game. The only problem is that you cannot actually battle and actually catch it. You can battle it, but you won't be able to catch it due to the restrictions of the wild area, which are quite unfortunate, to be frankly honest, but they are there and we can't really do much about them. So yeah, you can still find this Pokemon actually roaming early on, and have a pretty consistent rate of it being there, but if you want to catch it before you get your hands on a very, big amount of actual gym badges, you will have to go and, actually look around for it and get that small percentage chance, maybe within the Route 10 area. So yeah, that is number 2. Let's go to number 1. Now, coming in at number 1 is going to be none else than Velma. Velma is a Pokemon that I don't even know what to say about, because we finally have Velma, a Pokemon hailing from Generation 7, where it was also one of the rarest Pokemon. Because yeah, in Sun and Moon and those games as well, this was one of the rarest Pokemon you could ever encounter. In Pokemon Sword and Shield, this Pokemon is the same, with a whopping 1% chance of being found. The biggest problem is that this Pokemon is usually found in water, in a singular spot, or at least that was the case in Sun and Moon. However, this time around, you can find Delmise in the overworld on Route 9. However, it's still a very rare Pokemon to run into, and I think it's probably still the rarest Pokemon that you can try to get your hands on. It is just straight up really difficult. However, this time around, it is easier because it will show up in the overworld, whereas prior, you had to go to a singular spot and keep fishing until you got one. But remember, it still has a 1% chance of actually showing up. So that is probably very difficult to get your hands on, and it's within one specific area, so you're gonna have to go for a while to actually get your hands on this one. So yeah, there we go, ladies and gentlemen. Those were the 10 rarest Pokemon to catch in Pokemon Sword and Pokemon Shield. Now, what Pokemon do you think should have been on this list? If we missed any, let me know in the comment section down below, ladies and gentlemen. I'd love to know your thoughts and opinions and see what you guys think are some of the rarer Pokemon, or if there were, of course, any that we did miss. So yeah, thank you so much for watching. I will catch you all in the next video. Have yourselves a great day, and bye-bye, ladies and gentlemen. Peace out.